So, thank you very much, Glenn, and thank you very much the whole team at MoMA, the trustees at MoMA, the curators at MoMA, the exhibitions department, every single one to go for going onto that roller coaster, which is really quite an experiment. Legal department, press department, every single department I think is involved in organizing this exhibition, because it is not only groundbreaking but really the first time to have a retrospective of a performance artist as a performance retrospective. Of course, there were many retrospective of performances, historical shows, but to really have a performance retrospective presenting re-performances and live performances for the duration of the whole show, really as a retrospective of over 40 years, that's really a premiere. The artist is present. Glenn was describing what this means, and we felt if we would do a press opening, like we normally do for a show where objects are on pedestals and on the wall and in the space, you would come and you would miss the opportunity to talk to the artist who is present, because she wouldn't talk anymore. So from March 6th on, Marina will not talk to the press, will not talk have no social life, because she will really basically leave that behind and only be available in the museum from the mornings throughout the day, be picked up, be delivered back, have her training, have her exercise, but not, she will really focus on the exhibition, on performing, and no other social interaction. So that's the reason the artist is present today, and she can give you answers, and she can kind of basically communicate with you, and something that you will not be able from March 6th on. So if you have any question, any interviews, anything, any concerns, please, between now and March 6th. The exhibition, the artist is present, is such an experimental approach that we at the museum, basically not only for this exhibition, but I think it's a great coincidence that we can do this in the 2 years coming up to the exhibition, hopefully will continue, is that we created a performance workshop meeting every 3 months. Everybody is a participant, nobody's a guest, everybody has to do homework. To each workshop there are 3 questions sent to all participants, everybody prepares answers, everybody speaks. It's a huge round table. And the most beautiful thing is that throughout the last 2 years, we could establish a round of more than 70 artists that regularly participate in these workshops. And what does the museum do? We have curators from other museums, we have critics, mostly artists, and we basically discuss what is the responsibility of a museum to preserve performances, to preserve perhaps the documentation of performances, and to make performance an experience for generations to come. So it's not necessarily what are we doing in the future, it's now a responsibility to conserve, preserve, to catalog, to do oral history, to talk to the artist directly. For example, in one of the meetings, and she's a regular participant, and please have a look at the exhibition upstairs, Joan Jonas, her groundbreaking performance, Mirror Check. We were thinking, would you re-perform it? And she said, no, I was like a very young woman, I was in my early 20s. I will ask another very young woman in her 20s to do it, because it's about that moment in life. So it's really about talking directly to all the artists in the workshop, and we are very proud and grateful that Marina, I think you didn't miss a single workshop. So we have you as a major force in there. And what I now do is a bit unconventional, but it gives you an insight into the re-performances and the training, the preparation, mental preparation, physical preparation. Because when you have theater and opera, there is something like muscle memory. Of course, when you're a dancer, you have a teacher. When you're an opera singer, you have a direct teacher, because there's something like a memory that's directly in the body. And what Marina does is she looks at performance like an opera libretto, like a dance instruction that she can give to students. And therefore she has to be the direct teacher giving that knowledge. So we share a bit of this experience.
I think she said something like, you know, we're not going to eat or speak for 3 days. She's like, you'll hate me at the time, but you'll love me forever after and do whatever I want.
Like, I'm going with my instincts on this, and it feels right to trust her.
What you so worried about?
She wants us to fast for 3 days, and she's mentioned some other exercises that we'll be doing.
We always want to do things we like to do. Nobody ever changes when they do things they like.
It is a total mystery what we'll be doing. We won't be talking, I know that.
So you can make your last phone call. You know, you'll be free for 3 days. It's amazing.
So what's happening?
We'll let you know later.
Okay,
Don't
it doesn't
worry.
matter.
It's just a little bit different. They can take this experience and they do everything they want with their own life. But probably they'll hate me anyway. At least in the beginning. We're all sleeping together. It's probably cold. It's going to rain. Otherwise, it's too much sun. You know, they can't wash it properly. They have to wash in the river. They have to do exercises. And the worst thing, they can't complain because they can't talk. The purpose of this whole thing is this task we have starting in March in MoMA, that they really have to perform 3 months, which is a very big kind of obligation. So they have to create their own charismatic space. And for that, you have to consider some training. If you want to be a performance artist, it's about endurance, it's about perception, it's about self-control. So, body limits is one thing, but mental limits are the ones we have to deal with. Body is only the instrument. What kind of soul you have, what is inside, and how you really can use your body in extreme situations. This looks really ritualistic, I love it.